You might notice this video looks a little different. I'm going to be shooting it at 1080p at 60 hertz from my S9 as opposed to anything from the Brio. You might remember I just did a video on the Brio. So I'm looking at the video and I posted it, I rendered it in 4K, did everything properly. And I'm watching it and I'm like, yo, the 4K coming from the Brio and the 4K coming from the phone. It's like a night and day comparison. It really was. If you watch bad 1080, to be honest. So we're gonna be doing it from the phone from now on. It's an S9 Plus, dual aperture lens, wide angle, but 1080/60 looks pretty darn good on this phone. Today's video, we have here the unsung heroes of the workstation, and those heroes are nice. We have a moderately priced mouse, which is, you know what? I'm gonna save which ones are my favorites for afterwards, because objectivity is what I'm going for here. So we'll let you make the decision. I have a super cheap budget mouse from Big Lots, I think I got it. It was $5. I have a Hansomi Passonomy, can't be right. And then I have a Microsoft Surface Arc. That's $80. Best Buy. Blue light tech, so it doesn't have a red laser light like you would see on pretty much every mouse out there. It has a blue light. None of these are full Bluetooth. They work with USB receiver, which is Bluetooth, but it's also a receiver. Non-lag. That's annoying. What's that? Alright, first up we have the iHome. Not to be confused with an Apple product. It is a 2.5 gigahertz wireless mouse, 1 AA battery, USB receiver, regular red light, optical laser technology, and I specify that because we'll be displaying a mouse that actually doesn't use a red light. It uses a blue light, claims to be latency lag free. So here's the iHome. Scroll wheel, double click mouse, nice satisfying clicky, you know, if you're into that. I like it, I guess, unless you have your partner maybe sleeping next to you and you want something more silent. And I specify that because we have a mouse that doesn't make a noise and is rather unsatisfying, but is also a pretty cool mouse. So here is the iHome $5 mouse, Bluetooth mouse with a AA. Okay, and here we have the Passonomy, $20 from Amazon. Does not need a battery, which is always a plus. Micro USB charging will do the trick. It has a port on the front, so if you do run out of battery, you can just work with it plugged in, and it'll kind of just feel like a regular old school mouse with a wire. It does not require charging often at all. You can get weeks of battery life out of this mouse. It will put itself to sleep in order to conserve battery power, which is always an awesome feature. Its texture actually is super soft. I want to say like a almost like a carbon fiber feel, maybe a little rubbery. We got a scroll wheel. One of its features is silent clicking, which is a very nice feature in case you need to get some work done, maybe sleeping next to somebody that you'd rather not disturb, cranky girlfriend or boyfriend. And it does use a USB receiver, regular USB-A, just like the last one. I got some glue on this once, but you can't really see it. Still functions. This is my main use mouse when I need a mouse. When I go to school, I prefer this, only because it's quiet, doesn't disturb the other students, and all in all, it's really just a sleek, slim form factor. Very nice. I like it. So yeah, there's that. So, I just also want to mention, you may have noticed this button is it switches speeds in which the cursor moves at. So if you want it to move slower, you tap it once. If you want it to move a little faster, you tap it again. And if you want the mouse to really zoom around, you hit it again. That's what that is. Pretty sure there's a word for it, but I'm not sure what it is. But it is really useful if you want to change your pointer speed on a whim, instead of having to go all the way into Windows mouse settings and all that nonsense. So that's another reason I prefer this mouse. Yeah. The newest addition to my collection, the Microsoft Surface Arc mouse. Okay, so it's a mixed bag. I'm not gonna lie. It's very, very pretty. This is its idle state, and when you need to use it, bend it, on comes the blue light, and you have a mouse. Not too loud, the clicky. This is actually a capacitive touch bar, meaning there's no wheel, but it senses your finger. Kind of like how a fingerprint reader may work on your phone, unless you got the newer ultrasonic fingerprint reader. That's how they work. So it does go to sleep. It uses blue light. Now, Microsoft claims that this blue light technology increases response time, reduces latency and lag, and all that stuff, as opposed to the regular red light you're used to seeing. We'll get into that in a minute. USB receiver. Let's talk about these mics. So, there's a few different ones I showed you. Oh, that's my collection. Usually I use one for Samsung DeX when I gotta do something on the phone. But all in all, the one that I use consistently, because of the fact that it's a very low latency, it doesn't succumb to interference from other radio signals that are going on. You got Wi-Fi and Bluetooth stuff all over the place, is the Pasanomi, because it's quiet, it's sleek, and it's never lagged when I was doing a lot of different things on the computer. There are a few things you want to keep in mind when using a Bluetooth peripheral with a transceiver, is that if you're using a hub or you're using up a lot of your ports for other things, the bandwidth coming out of the ports isn't going to be solely dedicated to your mouse. It's going to be split apart through different things. So if you have multiple displays going, or a keyboard like I have, you're going to see the impact on your mouse performance. So you want to make sure that you have a couple of free ports. You don't got a bunch of peripherals going on, a bunch of USB connections. You want to try to let the computer devote its computing power to your peripheral of choice. Blue light tech is supposed to cut down on interference. Supposed to make it so that it works on any surface. I find that it doesn't work on every surface. Usually, glossy surfaces, no go. Glass obviously is a no go. I even have a mouse pad, which is also for some strange reason a no go. So this kind of feels gimmicky to me. Whatever. The iHome $5 mouse was my first mouse. I just needed something besides the trackpad so I could, move away from the computer if I wanted to watch TV or something. Still, all in all, it's really actually not a bad mouse. It works fine. It feels a little cheap, and it takes a battery, which kind of stinks. But honestly, for $5, pretty good value. I don't know if I mentioned that the Arc mouse actually takes 2 AAA batteries. It's 2019, but we're still doing batteries? Like, it doesn't make sense, and it makes me angry, which is why I prefer the Pasanomi wherever I put it, because it charges by USB Type B micro. Yeah, Type B micro. and that's convenient. And the charger will last forever. I've actually never had this mouse die on me. I usually just charge it when I feel like I've been using it for a while, but it's actually never died on me, and I've used it for weeks. Very effective battery management on that mouse. So that's got to stand for something. And it was $20, so it's not. It feels good. It feels like it feels like it's wasn't cheap. It doesn't feel cheap. It's solid. It's smooth. The texture is nice. Scroll wheel is super smooth. These buttons really are silent. I know when I had the camera this far away from it, you could hear them because I was slapping down on the keys. But when you're using it regularly, there's no sound coming out of you, which is nice if you're trying to be considerate of other people. So, yeah, that's the mouse breakdown. The bottom line is, you don't got to spend $80 for a mouse, and sometimes if you spend $80 for a mouse, you don't get what you paid for. $20 seems to be the sweet spot. So, that's what I got for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helps you. If you have any questions, post them. Obviously, like it, love it, subscribe to it. Be one with it.